Don't lose your way. Your mind free how to be as one.
Hey, what's going on YouTube? Or Storm here coming at you guys with another episode of the Yugioh Podcast. So today I have a lot of the same cast you've seen before. Sean is back from his short hiatus from the podcast.
Damn,
we have him
Sean.
back. And Liam is also back as well, aka TheGameDrake's Sheep, as well as Evan, and I also have a Pixel Reaper as well. Say hello, everybody.
You suck more, Storm.
Hello.
It's because half the stream is trolling me, so half this podcast is trolling me. So anyway, the main topic today is of course the ban list. I'm sorry for the delay on the podcast, but there was numerous issues related with me just being an idiot, not being able to organize. But anyway, so we're talking about obviously the new ban list came out last Wednesday, and I think no one expected the ban list to actually happen on it was an odd timing because it was right before after YCS, right before YCS, but So we're going to go about the ban list piece by piece. Then we're going to probably each give our, okay, why do we think banning this card or hitting this card was stupid? So we only have 2 bans on this list. We have Performapal Monkey Board and we have Kaiser Coliseum. The first one, I think most players were calling for Monkey Board to be banned. I don't know about you guys, but the way I look at Monkey Board was that at one, it would basically a comeback card. If I opened with that card or I would draw that card, top deck that card, it instantly got me back into the game. And I don't know what you guys think. What do you guys think?
That's exactly what
Scout's still legal then, huh?
Yeah, that's my thing. Is I think it's stupid. Because the thing, and I said this. I think I posted this on the channel Facebook page the other day. I was I think it's so stupid that Clees are not only still a relevant deck with 1 Scout, there's now a splashable engine in Metal Foes. I was just this deck is and the fact that Scout is still elite, I feel I don't think it's that good to play. I think playing Scout Monolith and Metal Foes is a little gimmicky to begin with, but that's just me. But
it's a fun gimmick.
It's a fun gimmick because you can make Infinity, but Infinity is not good on its own. You have to have something like Karen or Sloth all aligned with it. So it's I don't know, but
good thing those are searchable.
Yeah, exactly. Or Karen is, Sloth no.
Yeah.
But so I think we all pretty much all of us see we knew Monkey Board was gonna get banned. We all kind of knew that, and I feel I didn't want it to be banned, but it was, and kind of sad, but it is what it is. Now, the second ban card is Kaiser Coliseum. Now, this was an odd hit. I think you guys were mentioning before the podcast started that there is some kind of new Destiny hero Kaiser Coliseum lock that is pretty it's kind of it's one of those stupid Final Countdown type bullshit that we all don't want in the game. However,
that wasn't really us mentioning it. That was just you being bad.
Yeah, but I looked it up before to kind of get an idea what people were talking about.
Shut up! No, you didn't.
But Kaiser Coliseum was a card I played during Duelist Alliance format, and when the format was slower, the card was a really really good card because you could literally just put a monster on the field. In this format, it was Thought Ruler Archfiend. Just put Thought Ruler on the field and poke with Kaiser. That was literally how I've won games during that format. But as the game got faster, Kaiser Coliseum got worse because it was way too easy to play around one monster, and Twin Twisters came out. However, Kaiser Coliseum is a very very old card. I believe it came out in was it Magician's Force, and it's only got 2 printings, and both of them are from the original set of Yu-Gi-Oh sets. So it's a combination of factors. I think it's Konami didn't want to take the time to errata it to fix the text. The lock was stupid. I think we've seen this the Destiny Hero Angel lock that was Kaiser Coliseum. It's dumb, and the card I think it's kind of similar to Exciton. People are saying it's a ban-worthy card because it's banned, not because it needed to be banned. But, it's not a card I'm going to be sad to be gone, although I still have a couple copies just sitting in my binder still, all this time. I could never get rid of them because the card was bad. But, that's about the end of the bans. So you guys, what do you all think about the banned cards? Do they make good choices, or are they just being retarded, as, Konami's want to be?
It's fine.
Why the fuck is Demise not hit? What the fuck, Konami? What the actual fuck?
Yeah, that's a whole nother discussion. with Demise, but like I feel like I don't know, maybe Konami just wanted to keep it around for another format. Who the hell knows? But like with Konami, there's never any telling why they're doing anything. They
don't know either.
They don't know either. Like if you read their, they posted a reason why. Like I think it's on Glasgow's channel. They posted like a reason things were banned, and if you analyze how they read it, it's literally just like, who the fuck wrote this? A freaking intern? Like you shouldn't have even posted this, because it's like that's why Konami rarely posts information for the community, because we analyze it and they look like idiots. So but we'll get there. That's something I had to cover later. So for the limits,
get good Konami.
Get good Konami. We have Sarah.
I understand the hits, but I understand the bans. I know I'm late on this, but coming from all the Bujin players to Konami, go screw yourselves with a cactus.
Shit, man.
And then with that out of the way, now for the limits. The first limit is Seer Malebranche of the Burning Abyss. Question. Why was this card just not straight up banned? Like, it's just, like, as long as like Seer and Dante are still cards, they will still loop each other, and they will still, it will still cause problems. I think it hurts the deck, but PK, as long as like Dante is hanging around, this deck will not die. I don't think this is. I feel like the Konami is just trying to keep the deck rolling for whatever reason. I don't know why. And honestly, like, the deck is gonna and the sad thing is the deck's gonna even get better because they're getting that new rank up card in Invasion of Venom, and yeah, they can only have 2 less Beatrice, but like they can make Ophion, so it's like, who the hell cares? But
I think that rank up card is the reason it was limited and not banned.
Yeah, I do think that. I think because if you look at PK Fire, that's the top tier deck that can utilize that card the best. So if you look at it that way, that's definitely probably a reason why they didn't straight up hit the deck. It's more than likely that rank up card's going to come out. People are going to have a little bit of fun with it, and then Konami's finally going to say no more Dante. But Dante stayed around for 2 years, over 2 years at this point. So I'm doubtful that they're ever going to hit the card. So the next hit is Aether, the Heavenly Monarch. I think this is an interesting hit because in the OCG, I believe Domain and Pantheism are both at 1. But Aether is the problem card definitely for the deck, because if you look at this ban list, something you see a lot of is Konami is hitting cards that let you play on your opponent's turn and interrupt your mid combo. And Aether is definitely one of those cards. Its interaction with Stormforth is just obnoxious. I don't know about all of you guys, but it's not a card I'm unhappy to see gone. What do you guys think?
I mean, if they're hitting cards that play on your opponent's turn, why the hell did they make Psyframes?
Right?
Because they're not good. That being said, it was a really fucking toxic way to play Monarchs. I think they got really upset that people were playing extra deck Monarchs. I think that was where that was directed, but
they hit the domain variant more. They made the deck
mostly not playable, whereas if they had left Aether at 3, it still would have been, at the very least, Rogue. It's not even really Rogue anymore.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to play it anymore.
Yeah, no, yeah. And the thing is, like, Monarchs were the deck people were complaining the most about, myself included. So I'm definitely not unhappy to see Aether or all the other hits, to be honest. But for the next hit, we have Cosmo Dark Destroyer. This was pretty much, I think everyone saw this coming. I feel like Dark Destroyer was a card that. The thing you have to remember about Cosmos, though, is that they weren't doing very well in the format. Even in Europe's nationals, they didn't perform as well because they just can't outgrind. Like, their grind game is like, they can't outgrind a deck like Burning Abyss, like, on a consistent basis. And
excuse you, I'm pretty sure Cosmo just won YCS Rimini.
They did, and I think a lot of people they did just win that. But like, you have to. I think if you look at it like with Cosmos, is that like they didn't perform as well as people expected over the course of the format. At least if you look at between nationals and other things. So. But nevertheless, Cosmo Dark Destroyer to 1 doesn't completely neuter the deck. You'll just have to move it in a couple different directions.
Dark Planet Turbo.
Dark Planet Turbo is probably one of the most better variants. It's literally just put Dark Planet on the field with a bunch of
most better. I don't think I've heard that. I don't think I've heard that grammar quite yet.
No, Aura is too tired to grammar right now. But Cosmo Dark Destroyer, I think it being at 1 just means you have to play more You have to play cards like Call of the Haunted and Cosmotown's like that much more important. And I think it was definitely the right hit. It doesn't really kill the deck too much. It just kind of forces it to play a different play style, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Everyone thinks it's going to go to the Dark Planet. I disagree. Dark Planet uses too many resources. It's not going to be a good variant of the deck.
Well, like, the thing is, though,
Dark Planet. Also, Goldstark is at 3 now, so you have to keep in mind of that.
Yeah, and the important thing to remember about Goldstark is I always thought it was a hard once per turn, but it's not. So, like, it's not like other cards. Like, Pot of Desires is a great example. You don't want to open multiple copies. But with Goldstark, like, the extra copies aren't dead, is what I'm saying. So, like, it's not like, you can comfortably play 3 and, not worry about opening multiple copies. So, it's like, it's not like it's like Cosmos got hit, but they're definitely not unplayable, at least with the buffs they got. It's sort of similar to the last ban list where they kind of Allure went to 2, so they kind of got a little bit better even though they got hit a little bit. Kirin going to 1, this was the card I think it shows that Konami's definitely listening to what the community is complaining about, and Kirin was a card that, as much as I, didn't want the card to get hit, it was a card that won me every time I summoned it out against, especially rogue decks. It would just win me the game automatically. Against I was playing against Moonlights at Locals, and he literally, like, game 1...
lines.
He opened, he tried to go into Panther Dancer, and I just Kirin'd it. I was just like, he went into Moon Dancer, and I just Kirin'd it. And that's the thing with that card. It's just like, the guy's a good friend of mine. I felt bad but it was just like, no, Kirin. The card is just... I honestly, like, as much as I love the card, I could argue for it even being banned, but it being limited means, like, it's not going to be around at multiple copies, even though it is a hard once per turn. I think I think it being at 1, and it's not, the card's not, you're still going to have to stare down the card quite often, because Magical Abductor exists, Bumbaku is still at 3, and what do you guys think about Kirin?
Why, Konami? Why?
I'm just fine with it. Like,
I'm one of the ones that just doesn't understand all the pendulum hate.
Yeah, I'm kind of on that.
It's not pendulum hate. It's Kirin hate.
Yeah, it is, because, like, do you remember, like, the large amount of, like, just... every time I'd see anything pendulum related, I saw that particular card got hate. And, I'm upset to see it at 1, but at the same time, it's not like the card is gone. It's just you're losing multiple copies and it's being a little inconsistent. And you could argue that a Morphage Sloth kind of covers the same base, because what is Kirin mostly used for? Getting rid of extra deck monsters, more often than not. And Sloth kind of covers that base. And especially if you're playing a deck like Metal Foes, or even Draco Pals, you have Sky Iris and the Metal Foe scales to pop it and send it back to the extra deck to turn it off. So it's not like Sloth is already like exceeding, it sees a lot of play in, I think, the OCG, some of the OCG lists, and it's definitely going to see more play, I think, as well in the TCG list. I'm sad to see Kirin at 1, but it's not something, I'm going to, cry me a river about. It's something I'm going to just, like, accept and move on. So the next hit on the ban list is Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. This is probably something like a lot of you guys have something to think about, because they limited Beatrice, but they did not ban Dante. Is there a reason why they would, hit one rather than the other?
Keep the engine, remove the power plays.
Yeah.
That's why.
Before Beatrice came out, BA wasn't doing anything. BA was basically trashed here, but then the power play of Beatrice came out, and the deck went tier 1 again.
That's definitely true. Even with the Phantom Knights, like, I think early builds were trying the Phantom Knights, but they weren't nearly consistent enough. Like, they were good, but, like, Beatrice kind of broke open the floodgates for sure. The deck couldn't, because without Beatrice, the deck just couldn't keep up with Cosmos. Cosmos just, because the deck still struggles against Cosmos, because all their stuff targets, but the deck that got better because of Beatrice. Beatrice was the card that, took the deck to a whole other level. I will say, I'm not upset to see it limited rather than banned, because we need cards like Beatrice in our game to kind of diversify decks and make, we need cards that we need more creative cards in this game because, otherwise that format can get a little stale. So
Where's my Infernoid support, Konami?
I know
Where the fuck is it?
No,
Yes.
I'm waiting for it. I'm waiting for it along with the Shadal support, right? So the next limit is emergency teleport. This is a very odd hit. I mean, it makes sense because this is typical Konami. They put a card to 2, then put it to 1, like they did with Brianna. But it's like, why? Like, are Cosmo builds? Did I miss something, or are Cosmo builds not relying on emergency teleport? I don't know about you guys, but I don't remember seeing emergency teleport that much.
Tin Can Turbo.
They basically
I've seen it
made
win
so
games.
you have to go into Demise now. Also,
Yeah.
hit Demise, Konami. Hit the fuck out.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that and why they hit these cards, but they didn't hit Demise. So I still have to side cards like Royal Decree, Full House, and Denko Seka. It's kind of like I still have to side these cards because unless I want to get destroyed by set 4 pass. But it's like I feel like there are better emergency teleport did not need to be limited, and it's kind of like. I think of it like Beatrice. It's a card that creates a lot of creativity. There are a lot of good psychic tuners that you can summon with E-Tele, and it's just a good generic card. But it didn't need to be hit. But Konami, so there's not you really could do about it. Pantheism of the Monarchs to 1. I think we all, pretty much all of us here, I think saw this coming unless I've missed something. The card is. When I first read the card, I thought I was like, okay, it's hard. I thought it was a hard once per turn on both effects. But the fact that you can draw cards multiple times in a turn, I mean, there's a reason why Upstart Goblin is at 1, and all these other draw cards are at 1, are banned or at 1. Pantheism has no business being at 3 for what the card does, but it needed to go.
Here's how bad it is. I'm the only one here that likes Monarchs, I think.
Fuck off.
Get the fuck
I
out of
agree
here.
with
Sean.
Monarchs.
No one likes
Exactly.
you.
Got bored.
Exactly. And I knew it needed to be hit.
Yeah, and
I honestly thought Pantheism was going to get banned because
Yeah.
of how
that makes.
I thought they were going to murder it.
Yeah, I think we all saw Monarchs getting a massive hit whenever the ban list did come because it was the deck that was creating the most salt. It was most annoying to play against. Half the time, if they opened domain lock, I would just scoop it up on dev because it's just a lot of my decks they use the extra deck, and when domain gets on the board and I don't have removal, it's like why play? So, and then probably the hit that I saw coming, but I'm the most salty about is Pendulum Call to 1. Now, I want to talk about what they said Pendulum Call, why they hit the card in the article that Glasgow posted, because this was just, the statement they made was just bothered me to extreme. They said they hit Pendulum Call because it, quote, generates card advantage. That phrase, I have no
You
idea.
don't say.
Have you seen what the Cyber Angels can do?
Exactly. Have you seen the
Have you
advantage?
looked anywhere in the direction of
The
Monarchs?
entire meta.
Yeah.
Actually, though.
If you look at what Pendulum Call is, you're using one card that pitches 1 to search 2. So and the cards you search, you can't use Wisdom Eye in the same turn you use Pendulum Call. There's a lot of things you can't do with the card. All the cards you do add off the card don't generate you advantage. They just replace resources you've already used. So it's that is not an argument for limiting the card. Nevertheless, it's limited in the OCG. I think I saw it coming. So it's not something I was unprepared for, but it definitely makes me sad to see my favorite deck getting just neutered on the ban list. But it just means you've got more flexibility now to mess around with the deck and tweak your ratios. So the Magicians definitely as a deck they're dead from tier 1, being able to compete in tier 1 status. But I think the Abductor variants definitely can keep up, but you're better off moving into Draco Pals or Magic Spectre Pals or something like that rather than sticking with Magicians, honestly, going forward. Then the Monarch Stormforth. This one isn't controversial to me at all because when I first read Stormforth, and it took me, I don't know about you guys, but when Duelist Alliance came out and I read Stormforth, it took me 3 or 4 readings to understand how good the card was. The fact that you contribute your opponent's monster, it does not target, and it's a lot. I compare it to Preparation Rites, where the card wasn't busted when it first came out, but it took an archetype like Monarchs to break the card, and it probably having a 1 card spot removal for any. Having a card that can basically get any monster off the field is just dumb, especially if it's searchable in spell form. So what do you guys think about Stormforth?
Good riddance.
Me too.
Yeah, I've played Stormforth for years back in my Batterymen days, but it's time.
Yeah, the card is like, when the card first came out, I didn't realize how generic it was. I remember during against I played against Klee players who ran the card, and but Monarchs were the deck that broke the card, but the card was always busted from the minute it came out. So I don't think there's anything really to question about that going to 1. Now the semi-limits. This is the weirdest one on the list. It's a semi-limit to Max C. I don't get it. I get it that people are, as I said, Konami said in the article, people are running 3 Max Cs, but their whole argument is that it forces players into an awkward position where they actually have to think. So it's like,
oh no,
people at Yu-Gi-Oh players,
in Yu-Gi-Oh.
But the thing is, Max C, it creates a situation where you have to, depending on the deck you're playing, you have to think before you overextend and give your opponent too many cards. Especially if you're if you're playing something that special summons a lot, you have to stop, because if you give your opponent too many cards, they're going to OTK you. And typically, all you can do, if you give your opponent a +1 off of Max C, 2 cards can be enough to game you that turn. So next turn. So it's I feel like the card at 3, I feel like putting it to 2 doesn't it. But I was siding 2 anyways, so it was never really. But nobody, I remember Konami was saying that I don't know, some people were saying that they were only siding 2, but it's Max C was at 3 in almost every deck list. So my whole theory is Konami doesn't like cards when they're played in every single deck, and Max C was one of those cards, so they're just semi-limiting it to kind of slightly neuter it. Well, it's whatever.
And yet Valor's still at 3. That's being played to everyone's side deck.
Yeah, Valor, and Valor's also
Valor's really conditional though. Valor has its own balance limitations.
Yeah,
Very fair point.
Yeah, and with Valor, there's not and the weird thing about Valor is there's more ways to search it now than there ever was when the card first came out, because you have Magical Abductor searches it, you have Sage searches it, so it's not like you can't get to it, even though it's. But that's a story for another day.
Yeah, but Valor isn't analogous to Max C, because Valor, you stop your opponent once. You are forcing a halt. With Max C, it is either your opponent has to know that they can win right then, or they stop doing everything. And they have to know exactly how to go about that. Otherwise, it's just completely free advantage. And that's almost always been frowned upon.
Yeah,
that's why there's a Max C challenge and not an Effect Valor challenge.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly.
And then for the semi-limits, Thunder King Raiho is a very I personally love the card. I know probably I'm one of the few who does, but I'm glad to see the card finally.
Degenerate.
It is, but I'm love to see that. I'm so glad to finally see the card.
Hey, that's my job.
But
I am a little bit salty about Thunder King Raiho coming to 2, because I've only gone to regionals once. I took Cyframes, and I was completely shut down because he just summoned it turn 1 and beat me with it for 5 turns. That's all that happened that game.
I did that to be honest. I did that with Mermails against a Mermail player who literally went to nationals with Thunder King. I just summoned Thunder King, and he went to nationals, and I just summoned Thunder King, and he had so much trouble playing around it. It's but that's that part. But the card is really good.
It's balanced in that it uses your normal summon, and you do only get to use it once. So
and it can't negate mass.
Now it's not 2, and Demise decks are around.
And the other thing with Thunder King is that it doesn't negate mass pendulum summons. I want that out there. People say it does. It does not. It specifically says 1 summon. So it's it's pretty easy to play around if you just go into a Kistel or whatever. It isn't the easiest. It isn't the hard. But that's the problem, is your opponent has a bunch of traps. How is that Kistel even going to go through? So it's it's a good card, and I don't like the demise. It's a demise thing now, but whatever. It's kind of something we have to deal with, and I'm glad to see the card come off the list, because it's gonna, if nothing else, it'll expand the side deck a little bit. Then Windup
Probably not much. I don't think it's actually going to be used in like higher meta. Definitely at some locals though.
Yeah.
You shut your whore mouth.
Then Windup Magician coming off the list. I don't think this is going to change too much, but
Irrelevance.
it's kind of irrelevant. But there's treat toad we are getting treat toads in the next set. So, however, windups really aren't going to be a thing until they bring a party boat off the list, and they're not going to do that.
I'm trying it for generations.
Yeah, and they're not going to bring that off until they ban Windup Hunter, because there's a reason why.
Wait, Hunter's still legal? What the fuck?
Yeah.
You can have 3 Hunter.
Yeah, you can technically still hand loot people. It's just not nearly as consistent. So, that's the thing, is that, Party Boat, on the OCG, they have Hunter banned, but I think the Windup Carrier's at 2. I don't think it's at 3, it's at 2. And Magician's at 3. And the deck's doing nothing. So, it's that's the thing, is that, even there's a reason why Synchro Fusionist is still legal and fully powered, but they don't have Carrier off the list, because that whole combo loops into your entire hand, whereas you can't consistently do that with something like Synchro Fusionist.
Yeah, and Synchro Fusionist actually requires a lot of thinking and not just a 2-card combo.
Yeah, exactly. It's it's not like Monarch FTK where there was very little thinking. The reason that deck isn't as relevant is because
Just let me draw cards.
Yeah, it's so much. It literally is like a 40-50 card move combo just to loop your opponent's hand for 4 cards. So it's it's good, but it's I don't think it's relevant enough to warrant hitting at all. Now for the unlimits, we have Thousand Iron Strix. Nobody really cares. The card wasn't doing anything. I mean, the only usefulness I've seen for the card is it's a good instant fusion target in spirals, but that's about it.
Don't you mean Infernoids, you whore?
I've seen lists with it I saw Infernoid lists playing the card, but
that was me, baby. That was me.
I don't know.
I've seen Marmel's play Restrict once or twice.
Yeah, but that's just because there's only one Norden, so and we don't have rare fish yet, so it's what do I play?
Oh man, what they're gonna do is they're gonna overlay Neptibus and Thousand Eyes for Dullahan.
No,
Really?
we're not. Get out.
I've seen that.
Legit.
You're not far out. I've seen that happen.
All right, and then Allure of Darkness is coming to 3. This is I remember that this card
DD Dream, baby. DD Dream.
It's so good to see the card finally come off the list. I expected it, but I honestly it's kind of crazy thinking all the draw power hits, but yet Allure is at 3. But the card is still and I think it adds so much consistency to dark decks. It's insane. Not even just DDDs. You look at even everything. I mean, DDDs.
DDD's the only one that matters right now.
Yeah, even with Cosmos, it adds a lot of consistency. So it's but it doesn't make. But outside of those decks, that extra copy doesn't really make that much of a difference.
You know what it's gonna make meta? Guardians.
I forgot Guardians are dark.
Someone please send me a Guardian list. I have no idea how to play the deck.
You basically just play 3 of everything.
I think so. I know someone who has a list. I'll send it to you later. Gold Stark coming to 3. This card sat at 1 for a very, very long time, and I could never understand why, because the card is pretty slow. You're waiting. You can search anything, but you're waiting 2 turns to search that.
No. It doesn't matter about the amount of time. It's the fact that you can do things with the card before that time. Before that time is up.
Yeah,
that's
you
why
can
it's
now.
banned in Dragon Rulers.
Yeah, it was played in Dragon Rulers because you could banish, and the thing I forgot about the card was it wasn't I actually had to reread. I hadn't read the card text in a very long time, and I didn't realize it's also not a hard once per turn. And if you look at it, you look at how careful Konami is about hard once per turn effects. They fuck up a lot, but it's you look at some cards how careful they are. And Gold Stark was a card, and you also have stuff like Necroface that's had stupid interactions with the card, which I'm not looking forward to running into that on Dev. But if you look at it that way, the card is. It's nice. It's a very flexible card, and I'm kind of glad to see it finally off the list. It is a little slow, but it does help a lot of decks. It helps Ritual
Dark
Beast.
Planet Turbo.
Helps Dark Planet Turbo. Helps Ritual Beast for sure. Helps
Actually helps Fujins.
Helps Shiranui's a lot because you can banish your you can banish Sage to special summon. You can banish the priest to pop a card. I don't know if I'd play 3 in that deck, but it's pretty good, and it's pretty good.
Definitely 2.
Definitely
At
2.
least 2.
The card is pretty good in Shiranui's as well. It definitely buffs. It's like, and one thing I also noticed about this list, you can definitely tell that like they're trying to. Zombies probably won't be relevant, but they're definitely like they're probably stronger now than they've ever been in the past, just from the sheer amount of support that they've gotten. So like I feel like, but overall from this ban list, I don't think it was the best job in the world. I feel like there were some unnecessary hits, but this is kind of like the preemptive Konami telling you to go play another deck, and that's what they did last year.
Where the fuck is the Cosmotown hit?
Yeah, Cosmotown was a card I feel like should have at least been gone to 2, if not 1. But like, the Cosmotown is like that's the thing I feel like is missing. Demise definitely should have gone to 1 minimum.
Okay, I'm going to say something quick. I want to make a comparison to right now League of Legends, which is almost laugh. It's fair.
Well,
there is a thing that's coming up on its world tournament, and it's hitting a couple things, just tweaking them. But right after that happens, they're just going to fuck around. They're just going to fuck around with how they do their nerfs and buffs. This is exactly what Konami is doing with its current ban list.
Again,
honestly, Konami's just fucking around.
Yeah,
it's going to come out with the series ban list once the next format starts to begin.
Yeah,
and that's going to be about 3 months after ABC's hit.
Yeah, I feel like that we're gonna see that more than likely Dante will Terratop might get hit. We'll see Dante probably go to 1 or ban. I think something they're gonna Terratop is I love Terratop to pieces, and I'm glad it didn't get hit, but it's like that card is way too generic for what it does. Brilliant Fusion is another card like that could get hit as well, but that card also dodged the list, which
Brilliant Fusion Cyber Angels. Brilliant Fusion Cyber Angels.
Brilliant Fusion is what people throw in decks when they can't think of anything else. It's not actually all that good.
It depends on the deck. Like the problem is that you can use it with Seraph Knight. Like I keep going back and forth between banning like Seraph Knight or banning Brilliant Fusion, and it's like Brilliant
Seraph Knight.
Yeah, Brilliant Fusion is. I feel like the thing with Brilliant Fusion is though it's so generic, and the fact that you can foolish from deck, it's essentially like a faster version of what's the card? I can't remember now.
Future Fusion.
It's basically a faster version of Future Fusion, and you don't really care that you're done. Like you can literally pay it just for deck thinning, and that's the thing. Like you might draw that.
But you don't.
Yeah,
you can, but you don't.
You can
because it's not that as good as people make it out to be.
Yeah, and I was testing it in Magnet Warriors, and like the combos that that card literally, if I draw that card, I set up broken boards just from drawing that card.
Like, do Magnet Warriors even actually play Valkyrion?
No, they don't. Like they play. There's a new Bersurian, whatever its name is. It's like the ABC of the deck, and like usually they play that. And
it's the Electromagnet Warrior.
Yeah, usually you only play like I wish Delta wasn't a V-Jump promo because the deck Delta really speeds up the deck, but I don't know. I feel like that deck is actually just to be bad. I'll pick up that deck and ABCs probably when the structure decks come out. But it comes about the end of the podcast. But before we end the podcast, we're gonna talk about what decks we're playing with the new format. Even if we're unhappy about the ban list, we're gonna talk about the decks we're probably gonna be playing going forward. For me, I'm picking up. First deck I was investing in was Metal Foe Yang Zings. I remember I picked up the deck because like I'd always liked Yang Zings, but they were too slow for my taste, and I hated the amount of traps they played. Like I hate trap heavy decks like that play like 450 back row traps, and I didn't. But then when the metal
traps,
play too many. They play basically like demise decks. I don't like decks that play a lot of traps. Because I feel like I'm winning because the traps, not because my deck is good. And I found the Metal Foe variant, and I really, really liked how fast it was. It really fixed the one problem Yang Zings always had, which is getting their plays on their plays first turn. And it's vulnerable to Valor and all this, and it's really vulnerable to Max C. But the deck is really fun, and it's probably not the best Metal Foe variant, but I like it a lot. And I've also picked up Cyber Angels, but I'm still like tweaking my ratios a little bit. What about you, Sean?
I got 2 decks I know I'm playing for sure. I'm playing a Dark Light Storm build that I'm still looking for that Minerva. Please give me a reprint for Konami.
Nah, mate, pay $600, scrub.
Series 4.
Yeah. And then I'm playing Gem Knights. Yeah, because
Brilliant is not hit.
Yeah, because Brilliant's not hit. Well, even then, I was going to turn it into XZ's build if Brilliant got hit.
Funny thing about Gem Knights is the new last Arc V episode, the new Glad Beast fusion he had. It actually does the same thing as Lady Diamond. It summons a fusion from the extra deck.
Oh God, Gladiator Beast support, please don't.
No,
it's confirmed. It's confirmed.
So what about you, Evan? What are you playing this next format?
I'm gonna go back to Infernoids, man.
Infernoids again.
Cause fuck the meta.
Yeah. Infernoids are actually, I feel like with all the graveyard dependence, I feel like even with one reasoning, I feel like Infernoids are a deck you can still find a way to make them work. And
I'm gonna play the Goyo Defender version though.
That version's actually pretty good and consistent, so it's like it's not a bad. Infernoids aren't a terrible call. It's just like the deck's just. I wish that their spells and traps were better and they didn't have the weird restrictions, but like that kind of hinders the deck a lot. But maybe at some point we'll get Elder Entity Intis, and that'll really help make Void Dream a lot better. Void Dream is such a good card, but we don't have Intis to actually make it better. So it's like, but what about you, Liam?
I am prepping my deck list for ABCs. That looks incredibly fun. I was a Cyber Dragon player a while ago, and it looks like the new way to play a Cyber Dragon-like deck. It looks so much fun.
Go to hell.
The deck is like
already going there.
The only thing I feel like what makes
I'm driving the bus, so I'll see you there.
Like the early OCG list, you're playing Galaxy Soldier, but now like you look at what ABCs are now in the OCG, they've literally became like I play Ties of the Brethren and set a bunch of traps, and then hope you can break my Ford, and it's like it's not the most fun deck to play against, but it'll just mean I'll probably end up siding stuff like Book of Eclipse, or I'm actually thinking Book of Eclipse is actually a pretty good side deck card against ABCs, but I haven't decided quite yet.
System down, because even if they have the Buster Dragon on board and then try to defuse it, all of their monsters are then banished. So
that's actually a good one.
Take a bump in price. I'm going to try and get my hands on that soon.
My theory with Book of Eclipse though is how the deck has to have the Union equips and stuff. Well, if you book their monsters even if they tag out to Book of Eclipse, like they can't it's not like something like Swords where Dragon Buster can just banish it. You can actually chain Book of Eclipse, and even if they tag out, like their monsters will be put face down, which means they can't you can't activate Hanger. So that's actually really good.
Wait, so can you not contact when it's face down? Because I'm pretty sure you can.
You can
you can use polymerization. I don't think you can.
Yeah, you can. If the monsters are face down, yes, you can contact fusion.
Yes, Gladiator Beast. It's Gladiator Beast for rulings. Yeah,
gotcha. You can contact fusion with face downs, but the theory with Book of Eclipse is that you're putting them face down so they can't equip all their stuff, and you're gonna try.
They don't need to equip all their stuff.
But you're gonna
because once they summon it, Union Hanger will activate, and then Book of Eclipse. Oh, that's right. That is a quick play.
Yeah, like Book of Eclipse is a quick play. So my theory, but the other thing is like I'm siding it in Metalfoe Yang Zing, so I'm gonna box all their shit back anyway. I'm not gonna let it hit the graveyard. So it's like, I think that ABCs are a very interesting deck. I'm gonna look into them, but I'm not totally. I'm already like the deck's like 2 months away, and I'm already getting tired of playing it on Down Pro, to be honest. What about you, Pixel? I don't think it's not much of a question, but.
Well, I mean,
only mentioned it like 20 times.
Cyber Angels
and Cyber Dragons and Trains. So
if you I haven't actually I want to build trains, but I don't know why. I just every time I pick up the deck on Dev, the deck is so good, but it has the worst of bricks sometimes. It's just and the only
I've gotten around that, I think.
It has the worst. I wish the deck was good, but it's it has the worst of bricks. But when you get Dora with Dara Crane underneath it, it's so disruptive, and your opponent like most decks can't get easily play around Dora if once it hits the field. But it's at least the way I look at it.
In before
Can't really do
Kaiju.
anything, so.
Yeah, I mean, it reminds me of like Rake 10 Yu-Gi-Oh's video. He was like all this. He mentioned all the stuff that that card stopped, and he's like, it's like Kaiju's Kaiju's do shit on Dora. But
Why do you think Raid Raptors were bad in TCG?
well, with Raid
Okay,
Raptors,
yeah.
with Raid Raptors, you should be playing Rivalry of Warlords. Then they can't Kaiju you.
If you're playing Ultimate Falcon Turbo, you're playing the fucking deck wrong.
Well, yeah,
But it's fun.
but it's fun. But like the thing is, even if they Kaiju, like, well, a lot of Raid Raptor builds, like I know they main deck Rivalry of Warlords, which like you can't Kaiju once Rivalry is online anyways. But the other thing is that like if they Kaiju your Ultimate Falcon, they need to kill you that turn because they're just gonna come back because the skip force will be in the graveyard. So it's like
Get force too strong.
is that like go ahead Kaiju my Ultimate Falcon, like it doesn't matter. But so anyway, guys, as always, thank you guys for watching the video today. Really appreciate when you guys watch my videos. This comes about to the end of the podcast, so everyone can go ahead and name call or as they wish.
Scrubstorm.
Go kill yourself, Scrubstorm.
So anyway, guys.
Wow.
Anyway, guys, as
I was
always,
gonna say,
I'd like to thank you guys for watching. This
Scrubs
is
and
Warstorm
Orange.
signing out.